the dining room of an independent living residence in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
So, what's on the menu tonight?
The same thing that's on the menu every night. Chicken. $2,500 a month, and Colonel Sanders is the chef.
At least it's kosher, Bella.
Huh? Kosher style, Blanche. I prefer to call it faux kosher or kosherique.
Aren't you from? Look at her. The 101-year-old is holding court again.
I don't believe she's 101. I'll bet she isn't a day over 98.
She's the poster girl for this hellhole. Why her?
Well, Betty White turned down the job. Besides, she sends the not-so-subtle message that if you move in here, you live to be 101. If you play your cards right and can hang on for another 16 years, that will be you in those advertisements someday.
In the meantime, every brochure for this facility has her puss on it and mentions 7 times that it's near the water in Deerfield Beach. Meanwhile, we're 40 minutes away from the ocean by ambulance, and the only water nearby is the Everglades.
My kids correct me when I call it a facility. I'm supposed to refer to it as an independent living residence.
Tell that to the other inmates. Grab a spoon and we'll tunnel our way out of here. Maybe we can use the 101-year-old as a decoy when they turn on the searchlights and sick the dogs on us.
I'm gonna sick the dogs on our waitress. Where is she?
Gosh, she went AWOL last week. Speaking of missing persons, can you believe my maid finally showed up today and stayed 5 whole minutes?
It's a studio apartment. It's not going to take all day.
She spends 3 minutes in my underwear drawer.
Don't start, Blanche. The maid is not stealing your underwear.
It's practically new.
Oh, yeah, practically new. You've had that underwear since Jimmy Carter was president. No one wants your bloomers, Blanche.
I don't see you wearing Victoria's Secret underwear, Bella. Wait a minute. I left you alone in my apartment the other day. Let me see if you're wearing my underwear.
Blanche playfully tries to grab Bella's underwear.
Oh, look behind you, to your left, and then be subtle.
Blanche turns her chair completely around and stares.
That was subtle.
You know I can't turn my neck.
Yeah, it didn't stop you from driving until 2 months ago.
My God, he's good looking. He looks just like Cesar Romero.
Oh, he's taken, Blanche. Oh, of course, his wife seems like she's on her last leg.
While we have our whole life ahead of us. Maybe I'll ask him to dance tomorrow afternoon at the cocktail party.
80-somethings doing the cha-cha on a slippery dance floor. What could possibly go wrong?
If the 101-year-old dances again, I'm going to tackle her. Everyone made such a fuss the other day when she danced the horror.
Cesar Romero's wife will probably tackle you if you ask her to dance.
Why don't you come to services with me tomorrow?
Because I don't like the rabbi. He mumbles.
It couldn't be your state-of-the-art hearing aid that whistles Hatikva. Wait a minute. I think I hear it now.
Maybe I'm not as religious as I used to be.
But I never see you without your Jewish star around your neck.
I'm afraid the maid will steal it if I leave it in the room. 2 days later, I'll see it for sale on eBay. Right next to your underwear.
I get a lot of comfort out of going to the synagogue. At 85, I want to feel this isn't the end of the road.
Don't get me wrong, Blanche. I still believe in God. I believe in heaven. I just don't get the comfort I once did from sitting in synagogue. With so little time left, I don't want to listen to prayers I don't understand.
The English translation is right next to the Hebrew. And they've got a great Oneg Shabbat afterwards.
Oh, great. More chicken.
Babka, my friend. Fresh babka. Not the Hostess Twinkie babka they serve here that's been in somebody's bomb shelter since the 1950s. You can bring the box of Ziploc bags you got in your purse, and you'll have food for a week.
I'm returning those baggies to the dollar store. They don't stay zipped in my purse.
Which may explain the trail of ants from your pocketbook to Boca Raton. Get out your purse and come with me to services.
What's the point? My shelf life expired about 5 years ago. I'm just waiting for God to call my number.
Isn't that an even better reason to have a few conversations with God? You can let him know you're coming and that you're sick of chicken.
During the silent prayer, you can let God know about my likes and dislikes. We've been cellmates now for, 2 years. You ought to know my preferences.
I'm trying to remember the one meal you liked in the past 2 years. I know it wasn't the lobster we had 6 months ago.
I keep telling you that wasn't lobster. It was lagostino, which is crayfish. You know, like you get out of a polluted pond. Lagostino, my friend. Kosher style crayfish.
You've been watching too many cooking shows. For a woman who doesn't cook, what's the point?
I peeked through your screen door last week, and you were watching people having sex on HBO. What's the point?
I thought Cash Cab was on that channel.
Did you wonder why the people in Cash Cab were nude and having sex?
Wouldn't it be nice to get dressed up and go to services with me?
I'll get dressed up the next time it's Lagostino night here.
If you get bored during services, you can turn off your hearing aid.
Oh, sorry, can't hear a word you're saying. I turned my hearing aid off 5 minutes ago.
You told me you used to go to services every Friday.
My husband was alive then, and I don't like going alone.
You're not alone. You'll be with me.
Seeing all those young people with children, it reminds me of the good old days, and it makes me sad.
Sometimes, during the sermon, especially if it's boring, I think about all those wonderful moments in my life. I think about my husband breaking the glass at our wedding, and our son chanting the Haftorah at his bar mitzvah. I remember our trip to Israel and floating in the Dead Sea. I thank God for letting me enjoy all those moments and for the wonderful friends I've made in my life. Friends like you, Bella. And I pray we'll all wind up together someday.
Maybe you should be asking God to bring you some new underwear.
Did I mention that I usually sit in the row behind Cesar Romero?
What time does the bus pick us up in the lobby?